Welcome to Obsession Engineering Marvel HCL Motorsport Spanish Edition. My name is Franco Bourne and today I get to ride my new Fireblade super stock bike.
So we've come to Circuito Monteblanco in southern Spain, but do not let the sunlight fool you. It's actually quite cold this morning. It was 2 degrees overnight and we had to scrape the ice off the hire car to get into the circuit in the morning. But let's pop into the garage and see what Team Boss Matt and Pete, the other mechanic, are doing to the bike. Right, we're out at 10:40 this morning, so we're in relatively early and getting organised. So Pete and Matt are getting the tyre warmers on the bike, and since you last saw it in the videos, it's gained some stickers, it's gained some grip pad things on the tank, a little bit of a tank extension because the tank's quite short on these, and a front mudguard. We were in here yesterday sort of having a bit of a setup day, and the thing I spent pretty much all day doing was sitting at my desk over there, working out how to make the data logger in that work, but I think we're there now. So I've got some different traction control settings and bits for him to try, because I've turned the bike down a little bit, so it's a little bit milder for him to ride for his first outing. Hopefully we'll have some data working on the laptops, and today is just going to be a case of him going out and trying to get comfy on his new steed. In the other side of our garage are the reprobates from Ashcourt Racing and Roger, but their star rider Lee Johnston, being a star that he is, hasn't even bothered turning up yet, which tells me he might be in the little boys' room, and that is not meant to be an insult. So Lee's team have got a super stock Fireblade, very much like ours, and they've got a Superbike one over there that they'll have out at some point. Among the people in our exclusive group for our test here, Dean Harrison. Dean, any hints for our young rider on his first time on a big bike?
Don't get throttle happy. It'll be alright. Bike's a bike, it's got 2 wheels. Get the feel for it, it'll be alright.
Right then, it is about 45 minutes until your first ever session on a big bike. Thoughts?
It's a bit chilly, still a bit cold. It's about 12 degrees track temperature, so take it easy, try not to bin it. Should be good.
Nervous?
Nah. Yes.
Right, the bike is ready to go for the first session. I've put a softer map in it, so the actual engine character is a little bit softer and there's a bit more traction control. We've been through which buttons do what, but I don't really expect him to be playing with the buttons in the first session. The first session is purely go out, learn where he's going because he's never been here before, and just try and get comfortable on the bike. You've been here before, Lee?
Yeah, so obviously because I've ridden for, well not obviously, I rode for Honda before, and then we came with them, and then with my own team we've been here before as well. So yeah, the good thing about here, you're pretty much always guaranteed decent weather, so it's not a bad shout for that, and it's quite like British tracks in a little bit. I'm nearly out of breath just putting my boots on. This is not a good start. It's quite like British tracks in a little way, in the sense where some fast bits, some slow bits, chicanes, stuff like that. Yeah, a bit of undulation, so it's quite good. Whereas you go to somewhere like Jerez and it's got absolutely no resemblance to any British track whatsoever. So it's good for that. And then the next one, Andalusia, you go in there as well. Yeah, it's the same. So yeah.
Cool. Right, I'll let you finish running out of breath. He's disappeared down the pit lane. I'm a little bit nervous because, well, it's his first time out and we've built a bike that he's riding. Yeah, let's see how he gets on. Hopefully, comes back with a smile on his face. Pete, what do you think?
Well, let's hope all the nuts and bolts stay on.
you have bolt checked it, haven't you?
I have bolt checked it, yeah. No,
yeah.
We're 100% the bike's good.
Yeah.
It's the boy that's just going to have to learn now for this session. And mega.
as much as that session wasn't about lap times, 1 minute 45, which I think is acceptable around here from what we understand, and he was chasing some of the boys who've done a lot more time on big bikes, so that's a good sign already. For him, there's a little bit too much electronic intervention, which I thought might be the case because I put quite a lot into it for that session. So, yeah, he seems happy.
Oh, quick, obviously, but it was good fun. Brakes work. Yeah, brakes are good.
Happy though?
Yeah,
Starting
good
49,
fun.
47.
It's a fairly quick turnaround after the first session. We've only sort of had 40 minutes and we've not gone into massive detail, but I've basically given him a map with less anti-wheelie. I've got it set up on the dashboard so you can change traction control settings if it's still too intrusive. We've modified the rear brake position and it's basically go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, just get some more laps in, get more used to it, just try and enjoy it.
So halfway through the first afternoon session, and having successfully destroyed a rear tyre and constantly asked for less electronic intervention, feeling all right?
Been good, taking a bit more anti-wheelie off, a bit more traction off. Kept the same lap times with that tyre on there, so be a bit interesting to see what a new tyre does.
So it's fair to say today's thing of just get comfortable and, you know, doesn't matter what speed is and all the rest of it.
Oh, just go for it now.
Yeah, about early 20 laps of Monteblanco, and the rumour is that this circuit actually has no grip, but it's quite coarse, so it rips the tyres apart. So that one's done. We've got a fresh one in the back, haven't we, Pete?
Yeah, ready to go.
Like a well-oiled machine, we're all sliding into our job roles. I've been looking at data and ECU settings. Matt has been looking after tyre pressures, fuel, bolt checking and that sort of thing. Pete is building up another sprocket carrier, so when we do wheel changes we have a wheel already built, so it makes life easier. And Franco is doing the important thing and making sandwiches. So bike is ready for the last session of our first day. All I've done is I've changed it from like the most mild throttle openings to a slightly more aggressive throttle opening, like almost a standard throttle opening. And we've got that to try, and we have some different traction maps if we need them. Franco is looking calm and collected, chilled out. So we've just finished the last session of the day. We did a sort of a 10-lap, almost short race simulation in that. What we're really pleased with is his pace is good and he's consistent, and even when the tyre's dropping, he's not losing lap time. And so we've had a really, really good first day, haven't we, Pete?
We've had a good first day. To say that he wants everything turning off mainly, which is a good sign that he's not bothered about the power or the speed of the bike. It's good, isn't it, Franco? Yeah?
Good day.
Are you happy?
Yeah, good first day.
Good first day.
What do you think about 1,000?
All right.
And the fact that you've been out with the big boys as well.
Yeah.
You know, you got half the Superbike
good
paddock
riders
in
on
here,
there.
so that's good.
We've got a few things to do this evening. When the bike cools down, we're going to try fitting the thumb brake, because the rear brake's awkward to get to where he wants to get to it. And so the thumb brake will give us options on that. We've also got to do different brake pads. Obviously, we're going to try a different compound front tyre in it, and generally give it a bit of a look round. Bearing in mind that we're even still on standard pads and discs and everything like that. The brakes have done well. Hadn't had any fade problems. Yeah, give the bike a check round. Chill out a little bit. The boy can have some recovery drink. Solid first day. Lee, I know your body's a temple, but would you like a go on one of my Filipinos?
Not one. I'm having the whole fucking packet.
Oh, you're going crazy on the Filipinos.
Can you slow-mo?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
You also can have a Filipino, which tastes like a Filipino.
It is day 2 at Monteblanco. It's not long till the first session, so Franco's getting his leathers on. Lee's doing his skipping. Looking sporty. Oh, you bugger, that's... Oh, you got me on the shoulder, then. Cheeky little monkey. That's it, the short jokes are starting again soon. Right, me and Franco have done a yoga session and a bit of a workout this morning to get warmed up. It's good for me because I've spent a lot of time sat down recently. Good for him because he needs to be warmed up. Pete's warming the bike up. We've got a thumb brake on. We've got a different compound front tyre for him to try. We've got some different brake discs to try. Pads even, so he needs to warm them up. So we have a schedule. So let's get cracking. Right, so while Pete's warming the bike up, we've got an extension on the thumb brake now that Pete's done this morning. So that should make it a bit easier to use. All's looking good. Ready? Right, this is Max Cook, and Max was the only person who beat us in the championship in Stock 6 last year. So I'm not going to kick him in the nuts. We're going to congratulate him on his success. Max, is this your first day on the Superbike?
Yes, so behind me is Superbike. I'm kind of nervous because I'm going out in 10 minutes for the first time. But yeah,
it'll be exciting.
Well, I'll feel some speed. We've got quite a big main straight, and I know when I come up to brake at the end, it's going to feel like it wants to rip my head off. But, but no, I'm excited though. I'm more excited than I am nervous.
Good. Have you actually done any laps on the Superbike yet, or has it just been on a stocker?
No, I did I did a track day in October, but that weren't really proper. Now it's actually my bike, so yeah, this first proper time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That's it. No pressure, just ride around, get comfy.
That's it. Yeah, they're all telling me to have fun, which I should be. I should be having fun.
Oh hell yeah!
On holiday. Holiday.
Right, good luck. First session of day 2 done. Thumb brake.
Good. Yeah, a lot easier. Kind of get my foot to the other one, so made it a lot easier coming into corners, wheeling out. Yeah, just getting it more riding really.
Franco's out there. It's the start of session 2. Track temperature's getting quite nice now. He's got a new rear tyre in. The front's still quite fresh. So we've allowed him basically 4 laps to enjoy himself and push on a little bit. And then he's going to come in and we're going to do some ride-out changes in the rear of the bike. Now this is quite significant because it changes centre of gravity, also affects the trail slightly, how much grip the rear of the bike makes. It's quite a big change. So we get quite a lot of information off this, so we're going to try several different settings during the session because the session's 40 minutes, see what he prefers best. Lap time wise, we'll see what it does as well. Hopefully make some progress.
And then on the corners, it seemed to want to compress on the rear more, and then...
It didn't support on the exit?
No, it was squatting on the rear and then just whip.
Kicking?
Squatting down, then just slowly
bouncing
back.
Did you feel you could brake harder on it or not?
No, I wasn't confident braking on it.
Right, okay. So this is quite a big change now from that last run. On the 600, he loved it when the bottom of the bike, the shock was really short, loads of weight on the back wheel. On this, turns out he doesn't. Interestingly, I thought the one place to be really, really good was on the brakes, and he didn't particularly see, well, I don't think he actually preferred it on the brakes at all. So, we tried it the other way. We've gone higher, see if he likes that. Wait and see. Right, we've got about 10 minutes to go before our session for the afternoon, and we are going to continue working through ride height, setting changes in the rear of the bike. And the nice thing we've got with having little Lee in the garage with us is, as much as I'm sure on his own channel and actually generally around the garage, he plays the Joker a bit, has a bit of a laugh, and he's nice and relaxed. But he's been great with Franco already. He's been talking through a few riding aspects with him about the difference between a 600 and a stocker, asking him questions that I wouldn't have thought of about where he's using the rear brake and what might be causing some of the issues. And so he's brilliant because he's helping us out no end. Rog, who's out there, is helping me a bit with some of the data stuff. So it's really good little garage atmosphere. Not going to tell Lee that though. I'm telling me smells. We always suspected that his style would transfer well onto the big bike. It turns out we were right. Right, that's 2 mil out of the ride height. Do up the lock nut. Put my gloves on this time. My fingers got a bit toasty last time. Even though I'm not touching anything near the exhaust, the heat goes everywhere. Right, that's done. Let's go. Extra lesson learned. Franco likes to get on from the left-hand side of the bike. Cock his right leg over, which is normal. But when I push a bike across, I always push it from that side because that's normal. So now I need to learn to push the bike out of the garage from the other side. Minor things, worth knowing though.
To be fair, lap time wise, I noticed it was all the same. It's just different problems in different areas really. First run, I had a lot more grip coming on the rear, a little bit harder going in I'd say, not as much confident, not as much confident on the front. The second two pretty similar to be fair, but the tyre was getting more and more knackered towards the end.
Yeah, so basically Davis took all the claim, Franco's rid the bike, Boasty's built the bike, Boasty's done all the work to the bike, and Matt's paid for the bike. What exactly is your contribution to all this, Dave? You just want to replace him with me? Because I've got YouTube as well, you know. I don't know if I mentioned, so I could maybe like.
Have you? What's your channel?
Oh no, I don't want to start telling it. But Lee Johnston, if you want to give us some like and follow, subscribe, everything.
I believe you also have High Swipe's favourite Neil on your channel.
Oh yeah, you're not having him. No way. You can have anything, not Neil. No way. Put him on your thumbnail though, you'll get loads of views.
How's life on the Superbike?
It's fast and no, it's good. It's been a good day. Hard work. My hands are shredded. Still one more session actually, but no, getting better and better each time. So now I'm enjoying it.
Enjoying the power.
Yes, yeah, proper. Shredding a lot of tires, so like drifting everywhere. So I've not drifted anything. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool.
So we put a new rear tyre in for him, sent him out with a more aggressive throttle and less traction control, and he came in and commented that on the very first touch of the throttle it slides more. Part of that's going to be the track's getting hot, and even though he's got a new rear tyre, there's just going to be less grip. But we've made a bit of a change to the chassis. I've made a bit of a geometry change that might help. You've got to try these things. And then if it doesn't, we can roll him through. He can roll through pit lane, and or even while he's riding, could try a different throttle mode to see if that's better. Because it could be the throttle is more aggressive that's making it slide, or it could be the chassis. So you've got to try one of the two to work out which one's right.
Good day. Right? Yeah, spot on. A little bit less traction in that last one. Few setup changes, few different tyres. Productive day.
We've worked through quite a lot of little changes today. Ride heights, front tyres, brake pads, new tyres. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah, just need more riding really. Bit sore. Hands are hurting, body's hurting. But yeah, loving it, loving the new bike.
Right, what we learned in that last few laps was that the first touch of the throttle grip issue wasn't electrical, it was mechanical. So we've made a step with that, so we now know which way works to get the anti-squat where we want it, basically. So that's really useful information. Franco's mega because he just goes out, goes as fast as he can, gives us really good feedback. Yeah, he's doing a really good job. We're going to bleed the brakes up, clean the calipers again because they stick a bit on the standard discs, which is a bit crap. Hopefully get out of here a little bit earlier tonight because we're not fitting a thumb brake. So it's day 3 at Monteblanco. Right, we're tying a stiffer rear spring in the bike because he'd made a comment yesterday over dinner that when it slides, when he does big slides, which he's enjoying doing, it pumps a bit, basically, when it starts recovering. So I'm going to try a stiffer spring in it, see if that helps that aspect of it. It may not. That's why we come testing, to actually test these things. Then we're going to do back-to-back on the front tyre again to see if he notices a difference with that. We've got some different brake pads in. So there's a constant bits that we're working through. And then we're going to put the O-lins in as well and see what that's like compared to the Tubo. One of the lads at Honda pointed us at a restaurant in the local town to go to. Was it a good restaurant, Pete?
Apparently we was in the wrong one. But it wasn't a good one, no, it wasn't, not the first one anyway. No.
But the Chinese restaurant was better.
It was better, and there was an English-speaking Moroccan in, so it was, yeah, it was quite good, wasn't it? Yeah, it was quite nice, yeah.
Roger's learning how to count.
I got to 4 and then I had to give up, Dave. Actually, I could have gone to 5, could I? Yeah. I got to there and give up. I forgot about this one. Bloody hell, I'm going to start again.
First session of the day done. He liked the feeling with that stiff as rear spring. So we've now got a new tyre in to see if it's really better, because the only way to really tell is to have fresh rubber in it. So new rear tyre, and we're going back to trying the 2 compound front. So we're back to backing them. So hopefully we'll get a bit more information from that as well. But so far so good. We've made a plan, haven't we, Pete?
Well, we have. We just got to tell the rider it.
And you now have the option of basically all of the power and almost no traction control.
That's what we want. It is. No, I think we went a little bit quicker that time. Got out the corners a bit better with it. Just need to get the hang of pushing a bit more back brake maybe, but yeah, that's what we need to work towards, innit?
You're enjoying all this power, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we've had a bit of an early finish before lunch today because we're having a bit of a front brake issue. Now it's not brake fade, it's brake sticking. So basically when everything's completely cold and you've cleaned the calipers and stuff, the wheel spins nice and freely as you'd expect. When they're hot, they generally spin nice and freely. But if you come into the pit lane or come into the garage and we have 5 minutes chatting through stuff and adjusting, when you go back out they stick. So that is taking quite a lot of effort to turn and it drags like hell. But it sort of only does it when it's been sat for a few minutes, and we think that it's the discs that do it because we're not the only people on standard discs who are having a similar issue. But we haven't got any Brembos yet. So we've had to sort of come in and basically we're taking an early lunch and we're going to change the forks and a few other bits in the shock, and then we'll have the brakes apart, clean everything again, and if he goes out and does like a solid long run, it's not a problem. It's only when they've come in and like half cooled and then got hot again. So this is it. Awkwardness of these things, but we've now tested that those seem to be a bit of a problem. It's been a fairly busy lunchtime on the Fireblade because we've changed the discs, had the pads out and given everything a little bit of a clean, but the real important thing is the inside of these O-lins forks is now O-lins. So we've got O-lins cartridges, the modified standard shock that's basically had the electronic adjusters taken out and race spec valving with manual adjusters put in the shock, and we've got a different spring in. We've got the same spring in it now that we had, like the same weight as we had in the Batubo. So Franco just needs to go out and tell me if he likes it or not.
Give it a go, see what it's like. Get a few laps in, bit more track time.
More skids and wheelies.
Yeah. Hopefully you've sorted that disc out now though.
Yeah, the reason we've changed the discs is because Franco on an out lap started to pull a wheelie, and when he landed it, the front wheel had already stopped rotating. And then the next time he did an out lap, what happened next?
I didn't try to wheelie this time, it just came up a little bit. I had a bit of lean angle, and when it came down, nearly took the front. So
We should be okay now, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to send him out and have a go. So he likes the feel, like literally straight away. Did like 3 laps and came back and he reckoned he had more feel with the rear, especially on the bike. Didn't make a lot of comment about the front, but he said he reckoned he had more feel from the rear, but we've got a lot more movement with the rear. So the Öhlins basically moves more than the Turbo, so I've had to add some damping into it and a bit more preload, because when it spins and then it pumps. And we had a little bit of that with the Turbo, but we've got more of it with the Öhlins. So I've put a little bit of a setting change into that to see if that's going to be any better. And the nice thing is you can actually see it on the data, because I've broken the potentiometer mount on the Turbo, but we've got one on the Öhlins, so I can actually see it pumping and moving. And interesting, when the rear pumps, it makes the front do it. So, as is often the way, the fix for the front of the bike is fix the back of the bike. So, very slight setup change on the front, just because on the data he's into the bump stop on these ones. So I'll put a little bit more preload in it to hopefully just keep him off the bump stop so much. And for the next session, he's got a new pair of tyres, and we need him to go out and do a race simulation. And we've purposely picked the hottest session of the day because this is training. So the bike's fairly close, but because it's so hot, the setup changes are difficult to tell how good they are because the tyre drop off is so big. So what we need him to do is go out and actually get used to doing longer runs. So basically we're now into testing the rider. He's doing a bit of vlogging, and he's also added a bit of quality into his vlog because he's put me on it. So if I'm not in by the time he gets to the edit, something's happened and we've fallen out.
I don't do the editing, so it's Christy. So right, she's one of these people that is like, oh, I don't get a good aura off that person. A little bit hippie-ish. Yeah. So if you're not in, you've not got a good aura, do you? That's all I can say.
So, in fact, if I'm in and Roger's in and you're out...
Oh, I might be out of the house then, will I? Never mind the vlog, I might not be allowed back at the house.
Here comes our little star rider into pit lane. Nice, consistent race run. In the 40s for the first few laps, and then basically mid-41s the rest of the time. Absolutely spot on job. Doing it the Franco way. Nice and consistent.
All right.
Spot on, boy. So that's what a 10-lap run does to an SC1 slick round here. This circuit is low on grip, but really abrasive. So you just get loads of wheel spin, it just rips the tyres apart. So if we look, we find a wear marker. There's your wear marker on that side. Reasonable down there. Nice and proud there. Go to the other side. Almost nothing, and completely gone. So that's the end of day 3 at Monteblanco. We've got one more day to go. It's been interesting because the biggest change we made today was going from Turbo to Öhlins. In the debrief with Franco after his race run, there's positives and negatives to both, but realistically the comparison's really, really small, and as he said, he'd be perfectly happy to ride on either of them any weekend, so that's always a bonus. Welcome to day 4 at Monteblanco, and you join us in a forward fold as we're just beginning to warm up for our day's activities. Right, now we've finished our morning yoga warm-up, it's time to get tyre warmers on, give the bike the first sort of heat cycle, because these like having 2 or 3 really thorough heat cycles to get the cases and the oil really warm before they get thrashed to death by Franco. Right, today's tests are fork height. Basically, this changes the geometry at the front of the bike, so it alters centre of gravity, it alters the trail angle a little bit, so it alters quite a lot of feel, so how the bike steers and how the bike behaves on the brakes and stuff like that. So it's quite an important test, and basically we're going to try, obviously the setting we've run the rest of the tests we know fairly well now, and we're going to try them higher and lower, and basically it gives Franco and us a chance to get a feel for how effective the changes are and what the bike feels like. This is the only bit of track all week. So I spent 4 days with me and Matt stood here. Matt and Pete have taken it in turns to go and do some spotting out the back, which is probably more interesting because this place you can get some good sort of viewing points, and I've stood here. Worst places to go to work though. That is the last laps that we're doing at Monteblanco, and of course because we put a new tyre in, Franco enjoyed himself with it, didn't you?
Yeah. The first run was absolutely lethal, to be fair.
With the maximum engine brake, or with the old tyre.
On a knackered tyre was just. I had a moment first lap out the seat, but the tyre was like it was pretty much knackered, no edge to it. And then as soon as I came in, put a new tyre on, different engine brake and mapping, and then managed to get obviously a 39 then. So.
Right, so that is, according to the dashboard, the best lap of the week that we've had here, and that's on a front tyre that's done 20-something laps, so the front's way past its best, and we were still playing around with settings, but the fork setting must be to his liking. You like that fork setting?
Yeah, definitely a little bit better, but I'd say the main thing is tyres really, but obviously it's abrasive track, so yeah. Positive start to the Fireblade, eh?
Definitely. Yeah, so we've got a bike that works, a rider that's happy. Let's take it to the next track. Because we've finished on track for the day, we've given the bike a once over. We've given it a fresh charge of Motul 300V, given it chain lube and a general cleaning and check over using our wonderful Motul products. So the bike is now ready to go at Andalusia. So that's it for part 1 of our Spanish testing programme. The bike is ready to go at the next circuit, so we'll see you in Andalusia.